Greetings, friends. This is Elizabeth Shermer with a new moon message for our Capricorn new moon, which occurs at 6:17 p.m. on Tuesday, January 16th, in that specific time. This is a reading for the coming month. The signature that comes forward with this spread represents the activation of a new stream of momentum that will carry us through this coming 28-day lunar cycle. And this is always, this point in the year is a super potent lunar cycle because of the bringing forward of our intentions for the year, for 2018, for this cycle of time, and the fact that in a few days when the sun moves to 15 Aquarius, we celebrate the initiation, the solar initiation of the new year, of the year of what we call in Chinese medicine the year of the dog. And then in 1 month, at the Aquarius new moon, we'll celebrate the initiation of the dog year. So this month holds, I feel always this lunar cycle being the bridge from the old from the old to the new. And so the Capricorn moon is always holds a signature of new forms of power, of new awareness of power, and new initiation into what we each can do personally through connecting to our authentic power and how to contribute in the world in practical ways, and how to increase collective power towards the healthy momentum of good for all. So that's the highest expression of power. And so knowing all this, and knowing the amazing signature of the astrology chart for this current new moon, I'm feeling hot and flushed. I am really infused with the significance of this. I've been sitting with it all morning and meditating on the message I received today, and I'm just excited to bring it forward. And if my face is red, it's because this happens sometimes when I get really excited and I'm receiving a lot of fiery energy. And this spread is a spread of fire. It's a spread of alchemy, as you can see from the cards in front of you. You can see all the water, all the fire, all the red colors, and I'll be debriefing this spread in a moment. What I want to say first is the Sabian symbol for today, the sun, the frequency of the sun and moon when they come conjunct this evening at 6:17 is of pilgrims climbing the steep steps of an ancient shrine to get to the top of the mountain. This is one of my favorite Sabian of the whole cycle of 360 degrees for what it represents in terms of our ability to create new worlds and the truth of what climbing a mountain means. There's no accident that Dr. King's birthday was yesterday, that he was born in a earth dragon year. He was a prophet who spoke so and anchored for us the vision of what it means to climb the mountain, to be at the top of the mountain, to see the visions of the future and know at the core of our being that those visions are possible, that they are real. That's the truth he spoke to us, and why his words ring so true today. We are climbing a mountain together. We're doing it, and we walk in the steps of those who've gone before for thousands, for tens of thousands of years. If you've climbed ancient shrines, you know how the steps become worn from the millions of people who have come before you. And so we climb with courage and with strength and with conviction, and knowing that we are carried and knowing that we are part of a community that bridges time and space. All of these realizations are coming forward now to us. We understand them at new levels. We're expanding into new consciousness and able to receive understandings that maybe in the past were hidden or obscure or beyond what we could grasp. So I've been meditating on mountains, knowing for a few days what the signature was for our new moon, and honestly feeling the compression and some pressure of what is calling us forward. There's great momentum, and with great momentum can come pressure. And so, if you're feeling pressure and if you're feeling intensity and some overwhelm about either your own life or the bigness of what our collective journey is now, know that there's a message today of relief for you and of hope and of encouragement. So, we received in the spread today the two cards for alchemy, which are the cards that represent our ability to become alchemists. The card for water, we call this in Kabbalah water of water. The Queen of Cups represents the pure expression of the element of water. And we call in Kabbalah the Knight of Wands fire of fire, because knights represent the element of fire and wands are fire. So these are the cards that together represent us becoming alchemists and the truth of who we are as alchemists. And that is expressed in the card for last month's lunar cycle, the card called Art or Alchemy. And so this is who we're becoming. And in this coming month, we will have opportunities to express this in practical ways in our life, to experience ourselves stepping into our power and bridging worlds and healing our own perceived limitations so that we can more fully accept the truth of who we are. The Queen of Cups, I jumped ahead to the punchline of the spread because the Queen of Cups is the fourth card that emerged. So let me unpack some of the practical advice of the spread that came forward. And this is, there's an opportunity here to work with this teaching for the coming month. I actually write down these spreads and revisit them regularly every week for the month because they hold the seminal teachings that will unfold. And this spread absolutely does so. So first, in the position of circumstances, the Tower represents the dismantling of what is of old forms in order to make way for the new. So it represents change and necessary shifts and necessary changes. We're very aware of our structures in society dismantling. What's significant about the Tower appearing in the position of physical circumstances in the body is that today it came up reversed. And so the signature here is the opportunity this month, and this is absolutely expressed also in the astrology chart. The opportunity this month is for you to work with inner transformation. There's the opportunity to receive new insights this month about the truth of who you are and your deservability and your worth, the fact that you are bigger than you've ever known. And that is true for each of us. And we're at a threshold of evolution right now where we have the opportunity to step into new realities. And those new realities are what are created by our ability to release, our commitment to releasing limitations. And so the Knight of Wands in the center represents our commitment, our choice to rise. Fire rises. And the choice that we have now is to commit, to show up with courage, to trust our visions, to trust the truth of who we are, to trust and to choose alignment with our inner truth. And so the Tower again represents this willingness for us to do what needs to be done around our own capacities for transformation. And then really importantly in this message of transformation is the Two of Swords in the position of Spirit. The Two of Swords represents peace. It's called peace, and it represents the quality of inner peace in the mind, calmness in the mind that holds a space, that holds silence in order to transcend into new visions of what is possible. One of the most important signatures of the Two of Swords is the choice to move within the heart and to choose love instead of struggle. So again, there's a big signature of choice in this spread. The interesting specific message here with Two of Swords is this card also in the spread came up reversed. And so there's a message from Spirit and from Source of an acknowledgement that we will sometimes feel confused, or we may have trouble and difficulty getting to calm. And so when challenges appear in the position of Spirit, they always signal support for an acknowledgement for that circumstance. So know that one of the keys to your ability to navigate this month is your ability to ask for support when you feel stress or confusion or fear or anxiety. And I'll share for those of you who work with the cards, and even if you don't work with the cards, this may resonate. I throw an 8-card spread every month. Choosing a card or drawing a card to represent the signature of that particular lunar phase. So the card for me for balsamic phase, which is right now the last 3 days, preparing for the Capricorn moon, the card that I drew in my personal spread was the Two of Swords. And I was curious throughout the month what would be coming up, because it's a strong reminder to go back to meditate. So I assumed that there might be some confusion or stress in this last part of the month, and that indeed is what unfolded for me. Was some confusion and uncertainty about how in the world I'm going to meet my own goals. How am I going to meet the things I've committed to, represented by this Knight of Wands? I have big goals for the year, and the last 3 days, feeling the bigness and intensity of all that's coming forward, I found myself in the wee hours of the night feeling some uncertainty. And if I allowed that uncertainty to grow, it went to full-blown anxiety. However, knowing that this is a signature of coming forward, I used my tools to move back into my heart and breathe and ask for help so that I could hold space for and allow my body and my physical self and my patterns and my beliefs, which are the Tower reversed, to catch up. So there's some healing happening for all of us right now. And I will just say that I personally have been experiencing this inner transformation in preparation for the coming month. And so I hope that example helps those of you who are feeling some possible overwhelm or uncertainty. The year is big. What we're preparing for is big. And we need to help each other and encourage each other as we climb this mountain. Interestingly, the symbol for Earth Dog is mountain. And so there is a signature this year of us climbing a mountain, and the reality of the mountain and the bigness of the mountain and the importance of the mountain, and the fact that at the top of the mountain we are closer to our visions and closer to truth. So the final card in the spread, Knight of Wands. Did I say Knight of Wands? Commitment and courage and willpower to move forward at all costs, no matter what it takes. And then the companion to Knight of Wands in the deck, and the fourth card that came forward in the spread, is Queen of Cups. So Queen of Cups represents from Spirit the descending of the light. As Knight of Wands rises, we choose to rise. That's the energy of fire. That Source and Spirit and the light, our higher self, descends as love and trust. And you can think of rain descending, the grace of love that descends to support us and remind us that we are surrounded by love and that we are held by love, and that love is the glue of the universe. And so through this coming month, you will have the opportunity to engage in your own inner alchemy of trust and will, of love and will, and the adventure that unfolds will give you opportunities to learn and to receive new awareness of who you really are and what's truly possible. So the most practical advice I can give you, especially related to the Tower, is to remember that you are a powerful creator. These two cards together couldn't have a more powerful message. of the opportunities that into which you are stepping to become the creator that you are. And so whatever we focus our attention on, whatever we focus our feeling on, is what we create. So the most practical advice for each of us is to avoid fear that can come from focusing on the dismantling of external circumstances. Avoid fear, because fear contributes to the old patterns of the past. We're creating new structures of power, and so as much as possible, use that gift and reminder of spirit and source to use your tools when you feel chaos to return to quiet and stillness within. And from that place of quiet and stillness, you will facilitate and allow the release of the structures that cause you fear, which is what's being triggered. And so together we will rise. And that's the theme of this month. That's the message of this time. And I am, as always, so privileged to have the opportunity to bring this message forward and to share with you in this journey of discovery and adventure. Know that you are an infinite being of power, and it's time for you and us to rise. Have a fantastic month.